Hello everybody, welcome back to MMA Talks and welcome to another video. So after the quarterfinal draw of the UEFA Champions League, there are a lot of interesting matches are going to play. There are a lot of Europe giant teams are facing each other. So who is going to win Champions League? Who's gonna more likely to win Champions League? Of course, this is only my opinion. So what do you think? Which team do you think are going to win the UCN this year? Make sure in the comment below. All right. So there are a lot of very interesting matches in quarterfinal. Quarterfinal: Manchester City against Bayern Munich, Benfica against Inter Milan, Real Madrid against Chelsea, Napoli against Milan. These are really interesting one. When you talk about the path, I think Napoli, an Italian club, has the easy path more than the Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea, Real Madrid, because if Benfica and Inter Milan, if one of them is going to reach to the semi-final, they are going to play against one of from the Napoli and AC Milan. So their path is very easy, compared to the other one, because I think from out of all those clubs, I think Napoli is more likely to reach to the final. Of course, this not even in the semi-final. I think with this situation, with this results, with this performance, I think Napoli is more likely to reach UEFA final, Champions League final than the other teams, because they have a really great attacking trio and they have a great team. They have been showing performance so excellently this year. So it is very interesting one. But I think when we talk about the other teams, I think Napoli is one of the best teams in the world right now. Whether it is in Europe or in the Italian Serie A, whenever you see which area, what competition you see, Napoli has been on fire. So they scored 60 goals in Serie A, conceding only 16 goals. So these stats are showing how good they are defensively and attackingly. So when it's come to combining a whole team, I think Napoli has been fantastic so far this season. That's why I think rather than the other part of the teams, I think Napoli is the team that are going to reach to the UEFA Champions League final. So when it's come to UEFA Champions League competition, right, you don't always win the best team. The best team doesn't always win. You require a lot of experience. You require composure level. You require a lot. When the players are, when the club is not doing as they expected, the player has been losing their head. They cannot concentrate on the match. They cannot stick to the plans, and they cannot, destroy the other opponent. So when you want to solve this kind of problem, you require experience, especially in Champions League, because every team they play in the Champions League are the best in their country. That is so easy. That's why they are in the Champions League. So no team will be going to easy when you face against the other in Champions League. That's why you are one of the best team in the Euro. That's why you are facing the other team in the Champions League. That's why, and then it won't be easy for Napoli, of course. But when you compare the other teams like AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Benfica, let us be honest. Napoli is the best team out of all. And their path, if Napoli and AC Milan, they reach to the semi-final, they are going to face one of the Benfica and Inter Milan. So Napoli has beaten Inter Milan, AC Milan so far this season in their Serie A competition. So I don't think Benfica have enough quality to eliminate Napoli from the UCM quarterfinal. That's why I think Napoli is the most likely to reach to the Champions League final rather than the other 7 teams. So that is, I think, so obvious. So when we move to the other path, there are games like Manchester City against Bayern Munich, Real Madrid against Chelsea. So much interesting so much interesting matches. So when you firstly watch Bayern Munich against Manchester City, it will be very interesting. João Cancelo will be face his former team, not a former team because he came here Bayern Munich on loan. So João Cancelo is going to face against Manchester City, and Pep Guardiola going to face his old former team. So it is a very interesting one. But Manchester City has been losing so much in the recent year in the Champions League. Their main target is the Champions League, not even Premier League. Believe me, not even Premier League. The reason they are, they're trying so hard in the Champions League is because they want to win. Even though they have a chance to win the Premier League this season, I don't think they are going to focus, Premier League as much as they focus on Champions League right now. That's why Manchester City are going to be difficult for Bayern, but they it requires a lot. Pep Guardiola couldn't do one of the best Manchester City team in Champions League. They couldn't achieve. Okay, they didn't achieve Champions League so far, even though they have the best team in Europe. They have one of the best players. They have quality players, a lot of quality players, and they have so many good players for enough to play for 2 or 3 competition, because they have so many players on the bench. The quality player, okay. When you look at Manchester City bench, you won't find the average player. You won't find a good player. You will find an excellent player. Simple as that. That's why they are one of the strongest in Europe. The problem is the players couldn't handle the pressure of the Champions League. Okay, even they are facing against Chelsea back in the past 2 years, right? They couldn't handle the Champions League pressure. They were faced against the England team. So when you face against Bayern Munich, okay, you won't be easy. I doubt that Manchester City were going through. The problem is Manchester City faced, of course, they have faced against Bayern the past year, Aguero hat-trick, something like that. We've seen that, okay? But I doubt that they could beat Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich have so many good players, okay? And they have a really, really great team. They are really great team. Of course, Bayern doesn't have Manuel Neuer. This is one of the biggest weakness of Bayern Munich. But I don't think Jens Sommer has been poor this season. Of course, he is not the same level as Manuel Neuer, but I think he has a decent performance, and he showed excellent performance so far for Bayern Munich. I think that's why they have a great defense, like David Upamecano, Alphonso Davies, Matthias de Ligt. So good, so much quality in there. Okay, when you look at the midfield, Kimmich, Goretzka, Musiala, these guys are monster. Believe me, these guys are monster. Mentally, physically, nothing to say about the weakness. They don't have. It looks like they don't even have a weakness mentally or physically in Bayern Munich midfield, and they have of course a different multiple choice on the bench. And when it's come to attacking, you got no chance, because they have Sadio Mane, who has faced a lot against Manchester City when he played for Liverpool. See, they have a Sadio Mane, Musiala, Gnabry, and then Choupo-Moting. He might not be the quality player, but he is scoring the important goal for Bayern Munich. And they have Leroy Sané, the former Manchester City star. So they have so many quality player on the bench or on the pitch for Bayern Munich, and the player can easily the Champions League pressure. That's why when you face these two teams, I doubt that Manchester City will go through. So Bayern Munich, in my opinion, I think Bayern Munich are going through the semi-final. But when we move to the Real Madrid against Chelsea, of course Chelsea are determined to win the Champions League like the other 7 teams. But when you are facing one of the best teams in Europe and one of the best teams in the Champions League history, you ain't got no chance. But we can, no one say, we can say, surely, because Chelsea have done in the past 2 seasons, because they have Thomas when they are under Thomas Tuchel, they beat it, and they have beaten Real Madrid, and they have beaten Manchester City, and they won the Champions League deservedly. So I think this season, I don't think Graham Potter has been showing the performance that much impressive. Yes, they have reached the quarterfinal by throwing Dortmund, by throwing Dortmund. Okay, Dortmund is excellent this season, but they have a weakness in their defense. So I'm not surprised Chelsea has been through this so far, after passing Dortmund. And when you look at the Premier League results, they has been poor, so poor this season, after sending 600 millions in the in a transfer market. Of course, they have won against Leicester City. They have won against Leeds United. Those are not impressive. Those kind of performance are not gonna work against Real Madrid. So Madrid have so many great players, and they might not be doing well at the moment in La Ligas, but they are fantastic and extremely well at the moment in the Champions League this season. If even the Real Madrid doesn't show one of the best performance in the Champions League, they know how to win the games in Champions League. They know how to beat the opponent. They know how to find the weakness of the opponent. Last season we have seen the kind of thing. Do you think last season when the Real Madrid won the Champions League? Do you think I bet you don't think they showed the best performance, but they won it. Even though they are not showing the best performance, finally they won it. So that is how you win the game. That is how you use your experience. That is how you handle the experience and pressure. That is how you build your composure level. That's why I don't think Chelsea are going to beat Real Madrid to reach the semi-final. So when Real Madrid and Bayern Munich reach the semi-final, I think Bayern Munich are going through. So Bayern Munich and Napoli, I think they are going to face each other in the UCL final, I think. And then, of course, everybody's favorite is Bayern Munich. But for me, I think Bayern Munich are going to win it. That's my opinion. Okay. So what do you think about this, Champions League situation? Which team do you think are more likely to win? Make sure in the comment below. Thanks for watching, guys.